Verse 2, so the first went and poured out his bowl. So these are the angels, again, being dictated by God's sovereignty. The first goes out and pours out a bowl upon the earth, and a foul and loathsome sore came upon the men who had the mark of the beast and those who worshiped his image. God says, you bear the mark of the beast, now I give you a new mark. I give you a new mark. This is God beginning to pour out on those who deserve, in rejection of Jesus, his wrath. See, because we're currently living under what's known as passive wrath. You guys know that? You read the Old Testament and you see a God that administered active wrath. He just flat killed people. Right? And then 400 years of silence. A lot of people think that's when God went to therapy, got it worked out, realized he was wrong, sent Jesus to apologize. Right? So you see the Old Testament God, and then you see this, quote, New Testament God, and let's forget about Revelation. Old guy was mean, new guy was nice, and I don't even think Revelation is literal, right? And so you see this active wrath in the Old Testament, where God is actively doling out his wrath, and then the cross happens. And Jesus is this cosmic pacifier. And so he absorbs on the cross all the wrath of God. But now we live under passive wrath. And it's made us complacent. Flat out made us complacent. We don't see God just opening up the ocean and then crushing armies. But you need to know, as we talked about 2 weeks ago, every single one of us is pouring into a cup. The cup of God's wrath, yes? Every sin pours into this cup that Jesus ultimately drank for us on the cross. And so those who aren't protected by him, that aren't behind Jesus, protected by him, are now going to see the ramifications of every sin that's been poured into the cup of the wrath of God. And it begins with a foul and loathsome sore on those that have received the mark. And so you're going to see now that this passive wrath of God that we see of the New Testament that we currently live under is going to be consummated in the active wrath and the outpouring and the consummation of his wrath. It's not like people stopped sinning. And so that wrath comes back because he's a good judge, and it must. And so it begins with a foul and loathsome sore.